Kiss 92's Big Show
Sexy.
welcomes Dr. Martha Lee,
Hey, baby.
the sexyologist.
I'm sexy and I know it.
Our sexyologist from Eros Coaching. Welcome.
Good
Thanks
morning.
for
Good
having me.
morning, Dr. Martha. I missed you last week. How are you?
I'm very good. I missed you.
Oh, thank you.
But we treated her very well, though. Tim and
Good.
myself.
You better
Yes.
have. Yeah. Well,
Always.
you know what? I expect no less from you boys anyway. Today we're talking about a variety of things. Perimenopause, parenting, the birds and the bees. Which one are we going to start with?
Actually, if I could suggest, can we start on just one quick thing before we move on to that?
Okay.
And this is something that I teased last week.
I'm
Okay.
worried.
Me too.
I want to talk about signs that someone is sexually repressed. Like, does it manifest in different ways, characteristics, habits, personalities? Like, and I know I jokingly used Angel as an example, but you can use anybody as an example. Talking to Angel, talking to myself, talking to Glenn, just watching the way we behave, the way we communicate. Are there signs that somebody is sexually repressed?
One of it is the fact that they feel very uncomfortable with this topic. They don't want to talk about it, but they actually look unhappy.
Unhappy.
Like repressed emotions, the ease with their body. I really enjoy looking at people who just enjoy their body. You know, there's a special glow about them.
I feel like you can tell because sometimes when you see someone come into work all bouncy and all that, you're like,
Oh, someone got
they
lucky this
some
morning.
last night or something like that, right? But if they didn't, then you're kind of like, oh, you know, maybe they're not getting it
So
in the bedroom. It's true though.
If
I
they're
feel that.
uptight all the time.
Yeah, uptight, physically, and
Do they try to avoid conversations
Yes.
Is that
around
really
sex?
true?
I think so,
Which
yeah.
means you're talking about 80% of Singaporeans.
Martha?
yeah, I certainly think so. A lot of them. So people who are sexually positive, have a positive sex attitude, I think is the exception. This room included.
Okay.
I don't think a lot of people are getting any in
Yeah,
Singapore.
yeah.
Sometimes even if they want, they can't get it.
Yeah,
right?
no, I
so
get it,
that's
yeah.
why
That's why
maybe
they don't want
get
to talk about
frustrated.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sex with yourself is still sex.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Self-love.
We
Oh,
get
yeah,
it.
I want to say that when I was younger, before I became a sexologist, one of my favorite things was to do people watching. And I would always look at them and guess what kind of sex life they are having.
Right.
And I'll come up with a story.
Oh,
Like what
cute.
kind of jobs they have, or what kind of sex life, or what kind of relationship they're in.
You could have been an erotica novelist.
Yeah.
That would make still till today great people watching over a cocktail like happy hour. You know, you're sitting street level and you're watching all these people walk by. You go, okay,
that
that
one.
person is doing
Yeah.
this and that.
I
Yeah.
love people watching,
I
but,
love
but
as
I
well.
never draw those conclusions though. I just love like,
It's
okay,
nice,
wow,
though.
you know, she's good looking, huh?
Yeah, we can
But that's about it.
we
But
can make our own novel.
Yeah, I go to the next level of guessing their sex
I love
life.
that. I love
Wow.
that. Yeah.
So this is one of the reasons why I really love reality shows, because I like to be able to guess what they're going to say next, and I think that helps to sharpen my micro skills.
as a sexologist.
Yeah.
Nice.
All
Because,
right.
I'm fascinated with psychology and how people
people.
think, how they work.
Okay. So there you go. You know, there are signs to look out for. Today, when you talk to your colleagues, you try and guess
No,
also.
don't. Oh my gosh. Leave your colleagues alone.
Okay, we'll continue to talk to Martha on the Big Show TV, and we're going to be talking about perimenopause.
Yes.
All right, stay tuned. Here's Michael McCargy with Sacred Scared to Start, I beg your pardon, on Kiss 92.
She's wearing an old dress.
Sacred to heart.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate these new songs and these new artists. But
Oh
anyway,
my gosh. Okay, so perimenopause, parenting, birds and bees, which seems natural to start with first?
Okay, so perimenopause just means you're still having your menstruation, and 12 months of no menstruation means you are into menopause. And this happens for people late 30s to 40s. And in Singapore, the average age of menopause is 49.
Yeah, that's about the time I got menopause as well. Yeah.
And you
I am
mentioned
49.
Perimenopause can start like as early as 15 years before actual menopause, right?
Yes.
So someone in at 35 will already start exhibiting those signs.
Yes.
What signs?
So symptoms like disrupted sleep, mood swings, irritability, brain fog, inconsistent periods, and one that is actually very common to Asians. I do not know why. They did some study on it. Is joint aches.
Joint aches.
Yes.
Okay.
There are a lot of people who confuse burnout and stress, and they just think that that's what they're going through, but actually they're experiencing perimenopause symptoms. So a lot of people who are actually going through it, about 60% of people are really like having symptoms and suffering from it. Very few of them are actually getting help, like only about 12%.
And this can ruin relationships.
This can ruin relationships,
right? Because
for sure.
you've got your mood swings, you've got, your body feels like it's all out of whack, and if your partner doesn't understand, or even if you don't understand what's happening, it can lead to breakups as well,
Of course.
right?
Yeah, so 40 to 70% of midlife women are experiencing sexual dysfunction. So it means low sex drive, painful sex, vaginal dryness. So it's natural when you feel pain, you want to avoid it. When it's dry, it's uncomfortable. And also the weight gain.
Right.
So the body shame, the embarrassment, I'm certainly going through it, and it's not for lack of effort. I do exercise.
But I mean, you seem in high spirits. So some people who are going. So are you saying that you are going through perimenopause right now?
Oh yeah, I felt that. Yes.
Okay,
So,
so
I
how-
started having hot flushes like out of nowhere, not very bad ones, and then I stopped having hot flushes. So I think I'm coping quite well.
Okay.
Like dryness, wrinkles.
But the thing is, you're going through it.
Yeah, I
think
know I'm
that's
going through it.
important.
Yeah, and
you
that's
know?
what I want to know as well.
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people don't know
do-
they're going through it, right?
No,
Really?
they don't know.
They don't
Yeah.
know.
Now, earlier you mentioned help, right? But if perimenopause is a natural process, what kind of help can you do?
Yes, so the thing is, it's different for different people. So some people can cope better with maybe adjusting their diet, being mindful of their sleep, stress levels, and things like that. But there are people who have really, really bad symptoms, like suicide ideation, depression. I think these are the ones that you really need to get immediate support.
So in the form
don't
of
be
counseling,
embarrassed.
is it?
Yeah, go for counseling, go for a hormonal check, go for your gynae, talk to them. So there are people who actually are preventive, right? They go and get checked every year. And I think that's good, to take good care of yourself, especially if you have insurance.
I feel like there are a lot of women who may know that they're going through perimenopause because there's a lot of conversation around it these days, but they don't want to admit it because going through perimenopause means leading to menopause, which means you're getting older.
Oh,
and
I
not a lot of
see.
people want to realize that they're getting older. That means they've hit that age where, oh no, everything's going to
So
slow
that's why
down.
they feel depressed.
No,
Some of them.
no. The depression comes from. I'm not an expert, but I feel it's from the hormones. It's not so much from, oh, I'm getting older and this is what's making me
Yeah,
depressed.
you actually feel it.
You feel it. Yeah.
This ties into what you were saying earlier, FOFO, right? Fear of finding out.
Fear
so
of
they
finding
don't
out,
want
yeah.
to find out if they are actually menopausal.
Exactly.
But you see,
exactly.
if I'm menopausal, I should know, right? I mean,
No,
why
it's-
wouldn't I know?
It's not.
I don't understand.
No, it's not.
like-
It's not like your period where
But
you
you- but
have
you know
No, okay.
something is
So
going
when girls go through their menstruation, they know they're having menstruation because it's a physical thing that happens to their
Yeah.
body every month.
Okay.
But when it comes to perimenopause and menopause, it creeps up on you. And maybe you have mood swings. Maybe you have hot flushes. Maybe you scream at your partner and you don't know where that came from. But it's not a switch that switches on and tells you, okay, now you're going through perimenopause.
Yeah, I know, but if you're with your partner, let's say,
Yeah.
and you feel like you are, you're kind of out of control in
Yeah.
terms of like mood swings and all that, wouldn't you then turn to your partner who's trying to understand what's going on and say,
Maybe
I
I'm
think
going
I'm going
through this.
At
Yeah.
least that.
You could, but as I said earlier, a lot of women, especially if they're younger, 30s, 40s, they don't want to admit they're going through perimenopause because that will mean that they're getting older.
Then if their marriage breaks up as a result of that, then it is their fault. Not their husband's fault.
Yeah, but what about those people who are just surviving? You know, they are just living lives day by day. They're busy with work, caregiving, daily functioning.
They just brush it aside.
They don't really realize that there are changes. And sometimes the best person to tell you is your partner. Like, oh, you're more irritable than usual.
Yeah.
Should you get
What's
checked?
going on?
Because you know, sex is such a topic that is so difficult to bring up. Sometimes they are even afraid to talk about. Are you having perimenopause symptoms?
And a lot of men don't want to bring up topics
Yes.
about, oh, you're a little bit irritable right now, darling, you know, because a woman's going to go, what do you mean?
Yeah, I'll give you an
know?
example. The same way women don't like it when men blame everything on period, right?
Yeah.
Because every time, you know, maybe a woman is grumpy, you know, she's or she's not having a good time.
Is it that time of the month?
You're having that time of the month, right? And everything you just base it, you know, you
On that.
simplify it to that.
Yeah.
Ladies don't appreciate that either.
Yeah.
Really? There's
No.
nothing wrong with that, I feel.
No, but you're not a woman. You don't get that. It's just like, why can't I be pissed off just because I'm pissed off?
Well, then,
Yeah.
then
You know
why,
what I mean?
Then why are you in a relationship if you can't even like address that? I mean, you're
No, but what
married and-
Tim is saying is blaming every little flare up
Yeah.
or every little whatever nuance that happens on a period.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? When women can still be pissed off outside of a period.
I do know of people, they just feel very uncomfortable talking about these things because they don't have the practice talking about it. So
Yeah.
they just hint here, hint there, and then this just continues their whole life.
So-
as life becomes more challenging, it continues to be very difficult, the communication.
But you see, I understand if you know two parties are casual friends or whatever. Or you're in a social setting and you're joking like, hey, you know, are you in a bad mood today? Are you having a period? But what I'm saying is, when you are married, that should not be an issue.
No,
I
it
guess
shouldn't.
That's the
Communication
ideal.
shouldn't.
That is ideal.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You should, but I mean, we all know that there are some married couples who don't communicate either, right?
Right.
So I mean, you have problems like that.
Guess
that
which
flare
couple?
up. Many couples.
Okay.
But you know, to that point, Dr. Martha, how can you tell when someone's bad mood or you know is perimenopausal, is hormonal, or it's just their character? Because I mean, if we were to go, oh, you know, there's some people who got foggy brain, there's some people who are crotchety all the time. I've known people who are like that all their entire lives, right? And I'm not going to say, oh, you've been perimenopausal since you were 16. So how do
Yeah.
you know when one is hormonal and one is just, you know, life?
I think we have to go on air, and he'll ask you that question once again.
Okay.
Kiss 92 Traffic.
On the TPE towards the SLE, vehicle breakdown at Halus Link exit. PIE towards Changi, 2 accidents, one after Stevens Road, the other one at Lorong 2 Toa Payoh exit, and that exit has actually had to be closed as a result. CTE tunnel towards AYE, vehicle breakdown after Bukit Timah, and take note of roadworks in the MCE tunnel towards AYE before Central Boulevard.
We're back on The Big Show and The Big Show TV. A lovely Wednesday morning with our sexologist from Eros Coaching, Dr. Martha Tarali. Once again, good morning.
Good morning.
We're talking about perimenopause and the signs and symptoms that come along with it. One of them, obviously, mood swings. Maybe they get grumpy. You know, maybe foggy brain is another one. And my question is, how do you tell when these moods are based off hormones or just based on natural character or life situations?
We want to save marriages this morning, which is why we're talking about this.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there are some people, you know, some ladies I know who have been crotchety and grumpy all their lives, right? And I'm not going to assume that they've been premenopausal since they were 17 years old. So,
I think sometimes it's our habit. The way we behave is habitual. I think one of the signs that something is different is they start behaving differently. I think that's a big clue. So yeah, if they're always grumpy, then that's just who they are. But I find that a lot of people are actually genuinely feeling the symptoms. Maybe they're quieter, maybe they are more zen about life because they realize that life is short. They starting to feel the physical differences, which actually make them act in a different way as well.
So it's when you see a change of character.
Yeah, I think it's one of the signs.
So what advice do you have for couples who are going through that right now, whose husbands are wondering like, why is my wife behaving differently right now?
Yeah, I think not everybody is like you, you communicate for a living. So there are people who have a lot of difficulties communicating. So yeah, be honest, be brave, be vulnerable, speak up, and then suggest getting checked together, for instance, or accompany your partner.
What about for those couples that are not brave, not communicative, not able to drop hints, they just have no clue.
Right.
Like, how do they start that conversation, whether it's the woman or the man? How can they do it in a way that's not outside of their character, that kind of weaves into their life already?
Yeah, one of the things they can do is suggest that they watch a past episode of Kiss 92.
Okay, all right. And
Yeah, we have one
conversation.
on menopause on October 17, and of course today's show.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good idea.
The last time
hint.
the last time we talked about menopause, we also touched on the male equivalent, which is andropause, right? So similarly, is there periandropause that affects men?
I haven't heard of that, but yes, andropause is a real thing. Brain fog is one of them. Mood swings, irritability. But I think the difference between men and women is they tend to internalize things. They tend to be quieter. So I've heard of spouses saying things like they become more grumpy and easily tired. So people think andropause is just about testosterone, but actually it affects your brain as well and your ability to function in your work, your concentration.
Yeah.
So this is just an aging thing.
Yeah, it's
That's
an aging
basically
thing.
what it is, right?
It's a hormone thing also.
Men getting
It's,
grumpier,
I think,
hormones
aging,
dropping.
maybe feeling a little unfulfilled because, they're at that age already and they're not happy because, they still have,
So much to give.
and they have so much that they want
Yeah.
To
as
live
well.
as well.
I think it's a time of introspection, and we can't possibly go through life without actually having certain things happening, changes, which makes us look and reflect more into like what is my life and what do I want it to be? Do I have
Yeah.
any regrets? I think the hormones actually support us to be more reflective, and it's not a death sentence; it's a transition. Somebody told me that it's like you've been running on diesel your whole life, and now you're going into electric. So it's not that your body is different, it's there are adjustments that need to be done.
Gear
Yeah.
shifting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I guess you need to look at, what kind of changes in your lifestyle have occurred, because then you got a basis of comparison, right? So for instance, the fact that, I've got brain fog throughout the afternoon, that I'm tired all the time, could also just be because I started a morning show recently.
Yeah,
So
it
now
could
I'm
just
tired.
be
It may not
tired.
necessarily be andropause,
No,
right?
Yeah, transition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's important to
Were you
observe.
thinking you're going through andropause?
I did. I was a little worried, right? Then I realized I'm also a dad. That's why I get no sleep.
Oh,
But why
yeah.
were you afraid that you would be going through andropause?
Because
is it
this is
of
an
getting
age
older?
thing as well. Yeah, I'm not 17 anymore. So as we talk about these things, then you're like, oh yeah, you do that introspection, like Dr. Martha talked about, and you start wondering all these things that I'm feeling. Why? Right? And if andropause could be a reason, hey, a reason is better than no reason.
That's true.
I think this is linked to our fear of change. We just want things to be the same, but nothing is the same.
Yeah.
Even the weather.
Change is the only constant.
Yeah.
I think sex relaxes everybody.
Yeah,
So
okay.
which is why, I mean...
We'll go back to sex
Yeah,
then.
that's
Okay,
right.
all right.
Okay, it is 8:23.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by.
So, speaking of sex,
Yeah,
the birds and the bees. I think that's a hard one.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted to talk about?
No, I just wanted to say, like, the more sex you have, the more relaxed you feel.
Yeah, if
yeah.
sex is what you want, then yes, for sure.
And that's why, we're talking about andropause and all that. I feel like for the guys, maybe the fact that they've had to, they've been restricted or been starved
Yeah.
of pleasure, probably, kind of like contributes towards them feeling the way they're feeling, right?
Grumpy and everything else. Yeah.
And a thought just occurred to me. You know, I mean, why? The fact of the matter is, there are a lot of men complaining that they are, halfway, or they're reaching middle age and they're not getting as much anymore. Perhaps part of the reason is because they feel like time is running out. You know what I mean? We're getting older. At some point, andropause might set in. As we age, our bodies change. We may not be able to perform as well as we could before. So before that happens, we want to get as much as we can.
Yes.
So when we are in a situation where perhaps our ladies are not giving it to us, we're even more stressed.
Yeah, so I have clients who have FOMO, fear of missing out, and somehow in their mind they think that there's an expiry date to their sexuality. One day it will not work, or the fear of
Being unable to perform, right?
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why marriages are ending, even though they've been together for a long time. On the outside, everything seems good. I think more couples are asking themselves, they're not okay with okay anymore. They want
they want
good,
more. They
want
don't want to
great.
settle.
Yeah.
Why is that? Is that mainly women or men? And what are
Both.
they looking for outside? Like their dream partners,
I think we need to be realistic that we cannot find everything in one person, and sometimes they accept that their partner is not going to change. So this is one of the reasons why people choosing to divorce, because their values do not allow them to cheat, and also they cannot see any other way they can find their own independence.
Well, better break up than cheat, I feel.
Yes.
Or open up your relationship with
I feel the
consent.
same way. Yeah. But of course, we can't encourage that.
No.
Try and stay together as much as possible, especially if you've got a family, you've
Yeah,
got
work things
kids
through.
and everything.
That's what counselors are for.
And I mean, if really it can't be worked out and you're suffering, really suffering, as a result of that, both in terms of like health and all that, because it can be very stressful, then you've got to do the right thing and look after yourselves.
And also when it turns toxic.
Yeah.
Sometimes they turn on each other and it just becomes abusive.
That's such a loose
Or
term.
the
Everyone
children
is
as
using
well.
the term toxic these days.
Yeah.
Everyone is using the term toxic. Everyone is using the term narcissistic, right? Why is that the case?
I think we're just becoming more aware
Of the
what is
words
not,
and,
not good for us.
And everyone's playing the blame game. But I feel like there should not be, that
Pointing fingers.
Yeah.
because both sides affected maybe differently. They have different
It
reasons.
takes two hands to clap, right? I
Yeah.
mean, a relationship never breaks down on one end. There's always something. There's
and
always
multiple reasons.
yeah.
And I feel human nature as well. It's compartmentalized. You know what I mean? We want to peg people into different boxes or different holes, right? So to explain, like that. Oh, it must be because you're narcissist.
Yeah.
Or I didn't like what you said. Why did you say something? Oh, must be because you're toxic.
But there's also a basis to what they're saying a lot of times.
Yeah. Okay. Birds and the bees. Now, when you
Yes.
say the term
Birds
birds and
and
the
the
bees, the first thing that comes to mind is, how do parents talk about sex?
This
to
is
their
for
children?
Tim. Tim's boy is
yes.
7.
He's dreading it. He's dreading
Yeah,
As it is
my
already-
kids are grown, so
I'm at that stage where if something comes on, like we're watching Netflix and there is, anything,
scene?
remotely intimate, I fast forward. Because I
We're
don't,
like, cover
I'm not
up.
ready to have this conversation with my boy. He's 7,
But
right?
I'm sure he's seen stuff, right? He's not stupid
God, I hope
or
not.
blind.
I'm sure he's a bright
yeah,
boy.
exactly.
Okay, but first, let me ask you this question, Dr. Martha Lee. What is the right
Appropriate age.
age to talk to your kid about the birds and the bees?
Yeah, I get asked this a lot, but in reality, it doesn't have to be one big conversation or a certain age. It can start from birth. So things like not forcing
That's
their
being
hearts.
silly from birth.
No,
No,
wait,
I really
listen to
think
her,
so.
listen to her.
Because you can start using the proper body part names instead of using cute names, and then that can actually cause
Like-
a lot of confusion
Like
down
your
the road.
pee-pee.
Like your
Yeah,
chow chow.
or your banana, or
But you said from birth. That means you're talking to the infant. About
yes.
Yeah, no, she
Yes,
says it's something that you slowly inculcate. So it's
Yes.
like, oh, let's clean your penis. Let's wipe your vagina. It's not about, oh, let's play with your pee-pee or
Yeah, but you're an
anything like
infant.
that.
You don't understand anything.
No,
But-
but
oh,
kids
you'd be
are much
surprised.
more intelligent
You'd
than
be
you
surprised.
think.
Am I
I
like
think
in a
it's-
dream right
Yes,
now?
you
Like,
are.
like,
It's
you're talking
okay,
to
wait,
them.
wait, language.
They understand.
Wait. Even when they cannot speak, they still expressing themselves non-verbally.
Yeah, they
Like
absorb
pushing
everything.
away
Yeah.
the milk,
They know.
do express themselves.
Yeah.
They're highly intelligent, more intelligent than we realize.
So you're like, okay, this is a nipple.
No.
And-
What she's saying is, don't start using nicknames
Right.
when you're talking to the child. You know, okay, let's wash you after you've done your wee or whatever it is, but it's not let's wash your banana, it's let's wash your penis. It's not about, it's when you're talking to the child.
Right,
Yes.
but I'm also saying that, I mean, look, when you say like an infant,
Yeah,
everyone
you
who's
start-
watching right now is going like, come on.
No.
No,
Every parent who's watching understands. Ask
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
As an infant.
Yes.
You're not explaining the process
Yeah,
of
yeah.
sex to them. It's teaching them a language. I mean,
It's
when
body
you're-
parts.
And you
Yeah.
don't speak
Which is why I'm
baby
saying,
language. Oh my
this
gosh.
is a nipple.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Can I throw that at him?
Okay, like we talk about head and shoulders, knees and toes, and then we just meet all our
Correct.
genitalia.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to pronounce the word penis until I was 25.
Was it penis?
Yes, I was calling it pennies.
Right.
And then my clients, Gina or Vagina, they don't know how to pronounce vagina. Imagine going to a doctor or trying to file a medical report or police
Not
report,
knowing.
and you can't even articulate. Like,
Yeah.
it's so frustrating.
Well, I mean, at least you didn't think that John Denver song was about body part.
Which one?
Almost Heaven, West
Virginia.
Virginia. I mean, you could have called your, that part of Virginia.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there are people calling it vajayjay.
Yeah,
I think I like that.
I
You like
am,
vajayjay?
Yeah,
I am
Okay,
guilty.
wait. Back to the birds and the bees, not
Yeah.
about body parts. Okay, go.
I'm guilty. I do not use the
The actual
biological
word.
terms with my boy. I refer to go and wash your pee-pee.
Actually,
Okay.
you know what?
I mean?
You know what? We're bros, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can you guess what I'm thinking now? I mean, in terms of a solution for talking to your to Charlie about
Yes.
the birds and the bees.
Yeah.
What solution do I have now?
I should let you teach him about the birds
I mean,
and the
that's
bees.
also
No,
okay.
no.
But I'm thinking, just send Charlie to Dr. Martha Lee.
Oh.
right?
Is he
And
too
that's it.
young to see a
Do you
sexologist?
work
What do you
with
mean?
children
From an
as well?
infant, they can see Dr. Martha Lee from infancy.
Right.
And she's not asking the babies to go see her as to have help. She's not saying that. She's not like bring your newborn into
She
to
said
see
from
me.
infant, from
You speak to them, not bring
infancy.
them to the sexologist.
the sexologist can
I
speak
mean, you
to
have a
infant
lifelong
also.
relationship with your child. You should just put in some effort to learn and just
Exactly, yeah.
overcome your inhibition.
Okay, let's
Okay.
speak to Tim and forget about Glenn
Okay, so
for a while.
let's fast forward now. Okay, maybe not infant anymore. Okay, but you need to start explaining
Young.
the process.
Oh, of having sex?
Yes, of
Where babies come
copulation,
from.
where babies come from. I did not have that conversation with my parents. Okay, I found a book.
Okay.
Okay, where babies are from, and then I read through it. But nowadays, I do feel the pressure where, if my son is going to learn about this, he needs to hear about it from his parents, because I cannot trust him to find out on the internet where there's a lot of other very weird things out there. I do not want him learning that's what human reproduction is supposed to
Yeah.
be like.
Yeah.
Based on certain websites and stuff like that. How do you broach the topic and how do you talk about it?
Yeah, use small teachable moments like on TV instead of fast forwarding
Yeah.
it. Like, tell them what's going on. I actually have clients say we don't know what sex is and how to have sex, because every time it goes to a kiss scene, I'm told to close my eyes, and they continue to do that as adults, and then the screen goes blur, and then they don't know anything else in between.
Yeah.
So I actually have clients who do not know what is sex and how to have sex.
And what you're watching right now is a kiss scene. Right now on the Big Show TV, it's a Kiss 92 scene.
Obviously, don't show him things like Game of Thrones and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
regular shows, where there's kissing. Do you cover his face when there's kissing?
No.
Okay.
Not the kissing, but when they're about to lead into the bedroom, I'm like, all right, time to wash up, go brush your teeth. In fact, to this day, even certain songs make me very uncomfortable. Like, all I want to do is make love to you. Papa, what does make love mean? I'm like,
Oh my God, you're one of those parents. Very
Okay.
conservative.
Oh yeah,
So,
it's
okay.
hard to imagine.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
going back on air. Thank God I have no kids. The only thing kicking off right now is like what I'm having for lunch today. Okay.
Times.com.
Listen, you're ready. Kiss 92. Kiss 92 traffic.
On the PIE towards Changi Airport, heavy traffic between the ECP Airport and Tampines Street 31. PIE towards Changi also sees an accident after Tengah Boulevard, avoid lane 1. BKE towards PIE, breakdown after Dairy Farm Road. And on the AYE towards MCE, slow moving between Bonavista and Clementi Avenue 6.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. We've been speaking to Dr. Martha Lee, our sexologist. And, okay, Tim, you have a question for Martha.
Yes, how do you broach the topic, and how do you talk and explain the process of having sex and why human beings need to have sex?
With children.
Yeah, so you are the one who knows your child the best. You spending time with them.
Yep.
You know their language level, their capacity, and so just explain in factual ways, simple languaging, things like, oh, the penis goes into the vagina. That's it,
Okay.
body parts, right?
Right.
And when being able to use the correct terms are important. But I feel beyond that, just now we started to talk about it should start from when they are babies. So things like using the proper body part names, also their autonomy to their body, like your body belongs to you. When
Right.
somebody touches you without permission or for not a good reason, not a valid reason. So things like going for a doctor check is okay, like parents touch you to clean you is okay. So being able to tell them, okay, I'm cleaning you now. Like these things actually help them to realize a lot into their body that this touch is how it feels like. And then when they get like a different kind of a vibe, being intuitive, learning how to trust themselves is actually part of training them to become safe.
That's so important because I've seen so much in the news recently
Yeah.
about relatives abusing relatives, and this kind of conversation is so important because kids these days, I feel, firstly, are discovering their bodies earlier
Yeah.
because of the internet and social media. They're hitting puberty earlier as well. So for someone like Charlie, he's 7 now, I would have the conversation now, like slowly ease into it, because I've heard of girls getting their periods at 9, which means they're already able to get pregnant.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thought
Yes.
if you're sending your child out into the world without knowing what's possible.
So this is the job, I feel, of the Ministry of Education as well. Perhaps maybe they should start
as well.
maybe
Earlier.
not sex ed, but maybe kind of like a human social biology.
Like what
kinda
she's saying, your
lesson.
body
Yeah,
parts.
I never
and
had biology
respecting-
class.
Yeah.
Yeah, respecting your body.
Even at that young age,
Yes,
as
for
you
sure.
said,
I think so.
before the age of 9 or 10, so which means like maybe primary 3.
Primary 2, primary 3,
Primary
maybe
2,
3.
primary 3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
because
three.
because we know, right, about the algorithms and how you search something
Yeah.
and then
more
certain
comes
more
out.
explicit
Yeah.
things start coming up that can even shock your kids.
Yeah.
So this is where the blockers can come in, the screen blockers can come in. I think a lot of parents are really not prepared, and they
Yeah.
are thinking that like your question, at what age, when actually it should be as young as possible because
Yeah.
of the world that we are living in now, and a lot of online grooming happening.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take us much to see all these news happening in Singapore.
Yeah.
It's actually getting like really, really problematic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you think, like Charlie, he's 7 now. He just finished primary 1, gonna go to primary 2. Today, if I went home and I sat him down and I tried to explain the birds and the bees, he's at that age. He is old enough. This is totally okay to be having this conversation with him at this age.
Okay, so there's a resource for you. Go check out YouTube, amaze.com. They have all these cartoon-like videos to educate kids, parents on sexuality.
Yeah.
So you can start from anatomy.
Right.
AMAZE?
Yeah, AMAZE.org. Yeah, amazing, award-winning resource for teenagers, kids. So you can just show them these, choose 1 or 2 videos and start discussing. How do you feel about it? Do you have any questions based on this?
But
Oh,
don't
look-
leave him alone. Sit with him.
Yeah,
right?
sit with him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Sabrina, I hope you're listening. This is going to be between you and Charlie.
Oh my gosh, no! Don't do that. Don't do that. Be there
no,
for
I
him.
will be there. I'll be
My
there.
first experience of sex education was when I was in primary school.
Huh.
I got hold of an uncensored video cassette, if
Okay.
you know what I mean.
We
Yeah.
know what you mean.
Yes.
That got caught by my mom.
Okay.
And then my mom sat me down and said, sex is a beautiful thing. I mean, Birds and the Bees and all that. You don't believe everything you watch in the uncensored video, you know. And then I said, yeah, okay, you know, but she didn't scold me. She was very, very nice.
Yes,
But
don't scold your kids.
Yeah, but years later, I'm thinking now, it's exactly the same as in the uncensored video clip.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
let's continue to talk to Martha on The Big Show TV. 5 seconds of summer are next.
This is brand new. Here's a
I definitely think you should be included in that conversation with Charlie.
Yes,
Because you
yeah.
want to be the first one that he goes to and says, Daddy, I've met a girl. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like you want to be that bro to Charlie, not just everybody else.
Yes, and obviously, you know, we do share common anatomy parts, right? But yeah, I was just always worried, like, at what age, you know what I mean? And also, you know, there's a lot of pressure, I feel, because what I will teach him is stuff he will talk to his friends about. You know what I mean?
Then he can educate them.
Yeah, but so if I don't get it right and he tells people things that he's not supposed to tell and their parents find out, and I
Like,
think this
Timo,
is-
what are you doing? What are you teaching our children?
It's like, why you teach your child? You know what your child is saying to our child. So I was always wondering, like, you know, aside from parents, is there should schools be the authority? Should we have sex education in schools? We don't, right now.
I feel like parents are the problem, actually.
Yeah, I think
Everyone's
the government does what they can, but the thing is, being a multiracial, multi-religious country, this can become very sensitive.
Yeah.
And so I think the government is taking a more conservative approach, which is fine. They're respectful of everybody. And if you want your child brought up the way you want them to be, you have to take responsibility. And what the government will not do is to also weave in the values piece, like how you value certain things around sex, like for instance consent, or like certain religions, maybe they believe in sex only after marriage. Then these things needs to be communicated, which the school is not going to do.
Yeah, because
Okay.
they can't teach the morality issues of it, right? For religions.
And do you think maybe the concern that maybe some parents and authorities also have that, you know, if they start teaching children about sex education, you know, at too young an age, it might end up promoting them to have sex at too young an age?
This is a common
before they're ready.
misconception.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a common misconception that sex education means teaching people how to have sex, when in reality, sex education is actually short for sexuality education. And there's so much more to sexuality education
Than
than
just
sex.
sex.
There's communication, there's consent, there's respecting boundaries, there's recognizing the signs of healthy, unhealthy relationships, and how to
diseases.
how to date. Like, these are the different things. In fact, the more information and knowledge that they have, the better decisions and choices they can make for themselves. Like in everything else, we give people information, knowledge. We want to teach them everything about, say, driving a car. But why is it that when it comes to our sexuality, which really permeates every part of our lives, in my opinion, we don't talk about it enough. So actually, in my opinion, sexuality education is safety education, and we shouldn't be afraid of this topic. We really, really shouldn't, because if we can have very successful professional lives, but we don't have healthy, happy, positive personal lives, then what kind of life is that?
Yeah.
Okay. So while you just said that, look at her face. While you just said that, give like great advice right now to the couples who are experiencing issues in this area, since we're on that topic right now.
Yeah, don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's okay to say sorry to your kids. It's okay to say, I don't know, I'll find out the answer. It's okay to say, let's look it up together. Let me go and ask for some advice. And don't have to get everything right, because as the older your kids get, the more they realize that daddy, mommy are just human. And what they want is somebody that they can discuss things with, talk to, confide in, and you are their safe space. So this is where not actually scolding them, blaming them, shaming them is so important, because once you start to do that, they know that you are not safe. They will not come to you.
Yeah.
So Tim, do you think you're thinking a bit too much now? Because I mean, right now, if you don't address the issue, it
Yes.
doesn't really matter
No,
right now.
there's
But
so
you're just
many-
thinking about how you're going to do it when the time comes.
Exactly, because there's so many things that are flooding my mind right
But
now.
that
It's
time
like-
did not come yet, so don't
yet,
think
but
about it.
Scully, it's too late. By the time you
No,
want to do
it's
it,
not
what
gonna
if,
be too
what
late.
if
Relax.
he's turned out to be repressed? What if he turns out to be, I don't know, a pervert? I don't know, it's
so-
like
okay,
based
wait,
on
wait.
what I
See,
say.
Yeah.
So
No.
hyper.
I think Tim is really reflecting what a lot. I think Tim is really reflecting what a lot of parents think about, and you're just wanting to be a good parent
Yeah.
because you are afraid of sending out the wrong message, and in the end, affecting Charlie's reputation with his friends, but also the other parents thinking badly about you. So this is one of the things that unfortunately there is no like rule book, right? Because every child, every parent is different,
Yeah.
and you only have like certain guidelines. But it's definitely better to try than to not.
Okay, so
I
I,
think
love
I would have made a very good parent.
I love this website that Dr. Martha spoke about, amaze.org. I'm actually
Yes.
on it. There's an Amaze Junior, and they have a section for parents and a section for kids. And under the section for kids, they have like this cartoon where the thumbnail is like hands, arms, nipples, because parents don't usually talk about
Yes.
that,
Just
right?
parts.
Then they have help
I
kids.
like nipples.
Help kids. I'm sure you do. Help kids learn about their bodies. Help kids learn where babies come from. Help kids learn where that their bodies are private. Help kids learn why it's important to keep private parts private. So they
Yeah.
have different sort of topics that are in little cartoons.
Oh my
I
God.
know. Look at him. He's like
just-
he's not looking forward to
I'm
it.
sitting in my balcony half naked. It's like,
Oh,
Nipples.
So yeah, look at some of these videos and watch them with Charlie.
which is great. Thank you very much for introducing to this. Because another thought just cropped into my mind. What if there are kids nowadays who end up learning about sexuality from ChatGPT?
And they do.
Yeah, and I
They
don't know
do.
what
Sure,
they're
they
going to
do.
be finding out,
No,
right?
they do. They do.
Yeah.
I mean,
now
kids,
you're scaring yourself even more now.
no, look, kids are committing suicide because
Yes.
of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Now you're scaring everybody as
No,
well.
it's true. There are law cases in the UK and the US where parents are suing OpenAI because the children have gone onto it to learn how to kill themselves.
Maybe
And
we can talk
ChatGPT
about
has
that in
aided them.
another day. You know, it's like,
So anyway, don't be afraid.
Hmm.
Jump in. Get that conversation going before he has that conversation
Yeah,
with
that's
someone
that's
else.
the point
you know?
of being involved. I think a lot of parents just get so tired and busy with their work and other things going on that they really just want their child to behave. And so that's that whole top-down kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But in reality, the older they get, the more you should change the way you parent and be more of a try to be more of a friend, even though you're never ever really a friend.
sorry, Kiss fans and parents and all that. If you started like watching us and now you're starting to feel a little bit
Afraid.
more afraid, I apologize. It wasn't supposed to be like that.
Yes. Then the fear gripped us,
Yeah,
right?
can we just
Chill out.
Okay.
chill out a little bit and
also
assure
also another
our
thing about
fans.
ChatGPT is you can go into the history. And you can actually have I know of people, if their kids have access to electronics
Yeah.
devices, they have to allow their parents to supervise and
Yeah.
to see what they are looking at
And not clear their history.
Yes.
Okay.
So also like kids who have to only use the computer for homework and it's in the living room, everyone can see what's going on.
Yeah.
So there are certain precautions. It just depends on how involved you are with your child.
Okay.
Yeah.
And something that just dawned upon me, though, I mean, probably good, and I'm glad you mentioned about having these conversations early, is you don't want to wait until they're going through puberty, right? When they're having this conversation. Because let's face it, guys, hormones kick in, right? You're just feeling frisky all the time. Probably not going to make very good decisions, especially when you're being introduced to the concept of sex.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back on air one last time. Teddy Swims this Christmas right here on Kiss 92. All the great songs in one place. It's Glenn, Angel, and Tim, and we've been speaking to Dr. Martha Tara Lee, our sexologist from Eros coaching.
So we've had
Almost
a lot
like cooking.
cooking up your sex life. Okay, we've had quite a few questions based on your earlier topic about perimenopause and sexual relations between couples. And Eddie has said, "Good morning, doctor. Not sure if this is related. I have a friend who's been married for 2 years. However, since she became a mother, her husband has shared with me that her behavior and character has changed. She's become very hot-tempered, blames everything on the husband, and frequently starts arguments. Is this related to today's topic?"
No, this is more around childbirth, and there are definite things that change with the hormones and the body after baby. And one of the reasons why your friend's wife is acting out this way is because she's probably very, very overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And it's really important to get support. So instead of wow, so scary, and then run away, it's really, really important to lean in and support her, because what happens is all the weight of wanting to be a good parent starts to sink in, and it starts becoming very, very overwhelming.
Do you think this is a postnatal thing?
Yeah, I think this is a postnatal thing. There are people who have postpartum mood disorders. A lot of people think it's just depression, but actually there could be other symptoms like anxiety and
Not feeling sexy.
not feeling sexy, and really there are real changes that happens to the hormones and also to the brain that prepares them to be good parents, and so they become overwhelmed, and definitely takes a hit on their sex life. So if they're overwhelmed, they need to express themselves. Often the target is their spouse.
Wow, I gotta tell you, I feel really bad for the ladies. Okay, after today's session, I am so sympathetic, because you all go through so many different processes, biological processes that affect your moods, your hormones. There's puberty, then when you get pregnant, then there's postpartum.
It's true.
And then after you're going premenopausal and then menopausal.
I mean, if you think about a woman's biology, right, compared to a man's, I mean, when we hit puberty, our bodies change so differently. We get hips, we get boobs, and then periods come, and then we get pregnant, and then our stomachs explode because it's been so elasticized by a child.
Right.
And then once that baby comes out, what do you think happens to the stomach? Kind of stays that way, right? I mean, you've seen it, Tim. And then we go through menopause, then we go through everything else, and then on top of all that, have to keep the house clean and the child safe. So
Yeah,
it's a lot of stuff compared to a man. I'm not minimizing the things that men go through, but with women, both physically as well as emotionally, a crap load happens.
I think this morning we have very successfly encouraged everyone, perhaps
not
maybe
have
not to have children, not
And
to get
sex.
married, and just to have sex with people who just want to have sex.
Yay!
Job well done, mission accomplished.
That was not the mission this morning.
Ding ding ding.
Okay, there's a new rule that is coming up. I'm not sure whether you saw in the news. As of January in Singapore, you are not allowed to bring your smartphones and smartwatches to secondary
schools, yeah.
So I think that's going to be good for the mental health of our kids. I'm talking about secondary school level. So they have to lock up their devices. It will help them with less anxiety, depression, better sleep, less social comparison, people who have difficulties concentrating, and also like developing social skills. Like if kids are bored, what do? They find things to do. They talk to each other.
Imagination.
I think it's really, really progressive of Singapore to do that.
Yeah, well done.
Another thing that is happening around the world, Australia is the first country in the whole world that actually has a legal framework on online safety. So they have a online safety amendment where, okay, this is very progressive in my opinion. So those under 16 cannot have a social media account.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're removing it. And this is really progressive. And I think Singapore is going the right track.
Yeah, I think that one in Australia starts on the 10th of December, so it's next week. Yeah.
Yes. So I really think it's really important because their brains are still forming.
Yep.
And so if they start having difficulties with concentration, with language, with grammar, they don't have all the foundation, it's going to be really, really detrimental detrimental to their development and their careers.
Yeah. I think this is a reminder to parents as well. You know, we always complain, oh, our kids are online all the time, our kids are on social media all the time. So if you're going to get what you want and they are no longer going to be on these platforms, then you need to be there to occupy their time with them.
Yes.
To have
course,
those
yeah.
conversations with them.
Yeah,
Okay?
for sure.
All right, it's time for us to check on out of here, or rather check Martha out of here, because we're going to be with you for another hour. Thank you very much, Martha. What's in the pipeline for you this week, or your stand-up comedy shows are
Yes.
done already for this week, or
Yes, for this week. So yeah, I do stand-up comedy because my life is pretty much a joke. So why not?
it is
Okay,
not.
people think I'm a joke.
You are not. a
Okay,
joke.
I embrace all of it. Okay, so if you can't make them believe you, just make them laugh at you. That's fine. So yeah, check out my website, Eros Coaching. I'm planning to come up with more programs for parents around sexuality education.
Oh, nice. Okay.
All right. We'll see you next week then. Okay, and next week we're going to be talking about how much sex is too much sex.
Is there such a thing?
Is there such a thing? Yes, that's the second part of the question. Thank you very much,
Thank
Martha,
you.
for coming in
Thank
and
you.
joining us today.
Glenn Angel.